Hello everybody, Tango here, and today I've got an updated and very much improved version of my automated storage system with multi-item sorting. This is a fully customizable storage room design with quite a few nice benefits. So first, and by far the biggest reason to choose this design, is that you can arrange your items in any way that you want. You can put as many different types of items into a single chest. So for example, you could have a chest with all your various types of logs and wood planks in a single chest like this, and they're all going to sort as you have them distributed. You could also have, for example, a chest with all of your redstone bits. It might look something like this. And as the items come through the sorting system, they're going to automatically stack with whatever items of that type they find in each chest. Which gets us to the most important rule of this design, and that is that you have to have at least one item in every slot of every chest. That's how the sorting system knows what items to put where. So spread your items out, make sure you cover all your slots. If you have a slot that's empty, the next item that comes through the sorting system is automatically just going to take up that slot, which is probably not what you want to happen. So for instance, if you want to just grab a whole stack, just click it as normal, and always just remember to right click and leave one behind, and you're good to go. So another big advantage of this design is that it is completely modular. Now this particular layout that I have here has 6 modules in it. Each module consists of 2 columns of 6 double chests each, and the 2 columns of item frames on either side. So you can take those modules and kind of piece them together in any way you want. I mean, obviously right here I have a perfectly square room, which I think is pretty ideal and pretty great, but if you want to make one that's super large, you can do that. If you want to make one that's long and skinny or wide or whatever you want, it's going to fit your needs. Alright, so let me show you how to use this system here. It's actually very easy. So once you have all of your chests allocated the way you want and all of your slots filled up, you can come over here and just dump whatever items you want into this input chest. And as soon as you do, it's going to quickly start streaming all of the items through all of the modules as you have them linked together. And it's going to attempt to stack each item it sees in each chest if it can. So the items are going to go around your storage room until they find the chest that you've allocated for them and automatically stack inside them. Now, if they don't, for whatever reason, they're going to show up in this overflow chest over here, okay? And items will show up here for 2 reasons. Either you didn't have a slot for that item type, or the slots that you did have were all filled up. So in this case, for instance, there were 3 tripwire hooks overflow. We had 2 tripwire hooks, 2 stacks of tripwire hooks. So in this case, all you really got to do is reallocate some slots, taking away some slots from something else that you didn't want, or you're not getting as much of, and send the items through, and they will be restacking just fine. Now, the biggest issue from my previous storage room design that I wanted to fix with this design was the clicking of the droppers. Well, that is completely gone now. This design is 100% silent, and you will never hear the slightest noise from it. Now, the other major improvement with this new version is performance. The old version was causing way too many unnecessary redstone updates on modules that just didn't even have any items within them. This new design is going to cause very minimal redstone lag. So each sorting module is completely self-contained and activates just barely long enough for an item to sort through it. So there is no unnecessary redstone clocks ticking anywhere where there's not an active module. So let's face it, there are a ton of storage room designs out there, and there's even quite a few out there that are going to use this kind of chest slot allocation system that we're using here. However, the real reason that I designed this storage room for myself is the layout and ease of use. There are no other automated storage systems out there that I found that have this configuration of nice double chests right next to each other, a regular chest with trap chests, with item frames on either side. There's no ambiguity about which items go where. I honestly think it's the cleanest and easiest storage system to use. There's even like this nice little drop down here, so you get an extra row of storage down below where it's still within easy reach without having to reach up high. So you have 6 chests to stack all your items, tons of storage space. There's even these nice little chests in here. So for instance, if you know you're putting a whole ton of wood logs of various kinds into your storage system, you don't necessarily have to put them in right there. You can just dump them all right in here. All 3 of these chests are input chests, and then the items will begin processing from there onward. So these items will go right here and just go right into this chest, and you'll skip this entire module. It's pretty nice. Okay, we are ready to move on to the tutorial. So let's see how to build this thing. Now the good part is I only have to show you how to build one module, and then it's going to be up to you to decide how to configure these modules, how to lay them out to build the storage room that fits your needs. So I'm going to show you how to build one storage room, and then I'm going to show you how to connect them together, whether they're connected together right next to each other, whether they go around corners, that sort of thing. And then when we're done with that, I'm going to just show you how to do some of the simpler things like input lines and overflow chest and some of those midline input chests I just showed you. All right, so each module has a 9x4 footprint, just like that. And to give you a little reference here, this is going to be the bottom visible area of your storage room here. So these will be the bottom visible chests here with your item frames, and this line here is visible from the storage room. So between this bottom floor here, there are 3 blocks in between. Okay, so make sure you get this all positioned correctly before you get started. All right, so here we go. Swinging around the back here, go ahead and place a block right here with a torch, another block next to it, and a block up just like that. Throw some redstone dust right there to power that block, and a torch right there. Take a repeater, place it right underneath, facing into that block underneath, and put that on 4 ticks. That's important right there. And get a piece of dust right there. So what we just did is created a clock right here that when this torch is turned off, will begin to activate and cycle. From there now, take a repeater, we can leave it on default ticks, and place it into that block right there. Another solid block right there, and a couple comparators now, there, and then turn around there and there with dust there, dust, 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 okay? So what we've done here is made a simple comparator pulse extender. When this is active, it is going to disable this torch, which is going to allow this clock to run its cycle here. And that clock is what's going to push the items through all the hoppers and attempt to push them into through the sorting system. Okay, next on the back side, we're going to build the beginnings of our item elevator with the dropper item elevator. So go ahead and place a block here and put a torch right on top of it. Now grab a dropper and place that right on top of the, if I could do it, there we go, right on top of the torch. Make sure it's pointing up like that. And go ahead and put another block right there at an angle coming off the side of it like that, with a comparator right there. Block up like that with a torch on the back, and then a block down right there with some dust connecting it. So again, this is the beginning of the item elevator, the dropper item elevator, okay? We need to build another one of these right over here now. So again, the exact same thing, torch with a dropper pointing up, a block right there, comparator, block up, torch, block down there, and connect it all with dust, okay? Because there's going to be 2 dropper elevators, 1 for each side of the module. Now, we do need 2 more redstone torches. We need 1 right there, and we need 1 right there. Now, what these are is every time an item goes through either one of these drop-evators, that torch will go on, and that's going to refresh this pulse extender that we were just talking about, which is going to allow the clock to continue going. So as a stream of items are going through, these torches are going to continue going off, which is going to keep this pulse extender extended and keep the clock going. But as the final item comes through, that's when the pulse extender will fade out just long enough for that last item to go through the system. Time to grab some hoppers. We're going to be placing a lot of hoppers here. Now, I have a special resource pack I put on that shows the direction of hoppers to make it a little bit easier. The little arrows here. If you guys want this, I will leave a link in the description because it's pretty cool. It helps a lot. So starting with right here, put 1 hopper pointing into that dropper right there. And then over here, we're going to go there, 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 and there. So we have like a little zigzag happening right here, okay? Now from there, we're going to go 1 right on top of it, pointing down in, and 1 pointing into that one, like that, okay? Over here now, we're going to kind of do the same thing. So put a temp block there, and put a hopper, break that block, and put a hopper just pointing into nothing right there. Now, from, let's see, down right there, we're going to have to take from this hopper right here and go over 2. So like that and like that. And I'll clear this up here so you can see it real clear here. Again, so from that hopper down below, 2 of them just going this way. So this right here, this hopper is the output line of the module. That's where you would chain to another module. And this hopper right over here is the input. So anytime you want to send an item through this module, you feed it into this hopper right there. So now is as good a time as any to get our chests and the full front of the storage display kind of in place here. So again, remember we have 6 chests tall in each column, okay? Now, obviously, on one side, we're going to have regular chests, and the other side, we're going to have trap chests. That's the only way that they can go next to each other. It doesn't matter which side is trap chest, which side is regular chest or trap chest or whatever. All right, so from there, now we're going to go up 6 blocks here. So that's 3, 4, 5, and try not to fall, 6. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And go ahead and put your trapdoors in there now too. Might as well get everything all looking good. You don't have to fill up your chests right now with your items, but obviously you will have to do it before you want to use the system. So get all your chests in place like so, like so, like so. Okay, so looking good. You got 6 columns, or 2 columns of 6 double chests. Now swing around the back side here, okay? And we're going to take some hoppers now and place hoppers into the back of all of these chests. So holding shift, you place, 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 and then coming down, holding shift, place hoppers into the back of all those chests. You can see my arrows there are showing that they're all going into the back of all those chests. Now up here, we're going to need one more. So a couple temp blocks and a couple more hoppers right there. These guys are pointing into nothing, but the build of each module goes one level above the top chest here, so just get those ready. Alright, swinging around back again, a little bit more redstone here. So on top of this torch right here, which is the main one driving the clock for the whole module, go ahead and put a block on top of that, a solid block. Grab 3 slabs, slabby, labby, slabby, and a slabby right there. Okay, that might be a little bit hard to get them in there. And put a dust on that one in the awkward corner in the back there. Solid block right there, and a repeater right there facing into that block. Now, come on over to this side over here and put a solid block right on top of that hopper right there, and a couple of slabs there and there. And make sure these are slabs, not solid blocks, okay? Grab another repeater, put it right there into that block, and some dust, and connect it all like so, okay? These are going to be the beginnings of a cycling kind of... Every time that clock ticks, these are going to be turning on, off, which is going to allow the items to flow through these hoppers at just the right pace. Okay, so next we're going to build the rest of the kind of alternating power togglers going up the hopper chains here. So we're going to build 1 right now, and we're going to need to build 3 total. So I'll show you all 3 times here. So just grab a couple solid blocks and put them on top of the dust, just like that. A couple slabs there and there, with a solid block against the side of that hopper over there. Another solid block on that one there, and slab there. Okay, so it's kind of a symmetrical little design here, okay? Repeaters there and there, leave them on 1 tick, and 4 dust going along the back like that. Now grab 2 torches and get them on those 2 blocks that you just placed on the inside right there, okay? Now we need to build this 2 more times going up. So again, blocks right on top of the dust there. Slab, block. Same thing over here. Block there with a slab. Dust going across the back. Repeaters there and there. And torch there and there. And one more time. There. Slab there and there. Block there. Not up top there. Right there. Slab, okay, and again, dust, repeater, and torch. So you should be looking down here, and you should see a nice little line of torches, and you should see a nice little line of repeaters. Now we're going to hook all this up to the same redstone signal in just a bit. Okay, now that that's done, now would be a good time to finish putting in the droppers for our drop evader. So each one needs 9 droppers total. We already have 1 there, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the last one you want to point coming sideways like this. Make sure it's not pointing up, but it's coming sideways, okay? From there now, take some more hoppers and go there. So coming out of the dropper, the line connects into those 2 hoppers that we had pointing into nothing, like that. Let's repeat the same thing on the other side over here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, like that. And a couple more hoppers there, and there, okay? Now we're going to grab a couple of solid blocks and go there and there with some torches. And they should line up with the other torches we've been pairing off down the bottom there, like that. Couple torches just like that. And we're going to run the redstone signal. You can actually put the redstone there if you want right now. The redstone's going to come all the way up there and power those as well. So there you go. Okay, so now we need to hook all of these layers together. We have our main redstone torch clock down right there, okay? And that's obviously going to power this layer right here already. But we want that same signal to power all these other layers going all the way up to the top here. So the way we're going to do that is in the back here, take some slabs and alternate them and kind of zigzag pattern all the way up to the top here, okay? Like that. and grabs some dust and puts the first dust on top of that hopper right there. And then from there on top of each other slab that we just placed, and it should connect all the way up to the top just like that. Alright, so we are just about done with this first module. One of the last things we need to do now is just finish up the redstone torch tower for each of the drop evaders. Now, this is going to be mirrored for both sides here. So start off by putting a torch there and there, block on top of that, like that, okay? And then we're going to go like torches on the outside, blocks on top of the torches, like this. Torches on the inside, like that. Blocks on top of those. Torches on the outside. You guys see the pattern here, right? Torch on top of those. Okay, so carry this all the way up to the top. And continue that up until you get something that looks like this. So all of your inside torches should be on. All of your outside torches should be off. Come all the way up until you get to this last outside blocks. It should be even with your top dropper, the one that is pointing sideways. So from here now, we're going to add a couple of inside torches. We're going to go there, 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 and there. And do the same thing on this side. There should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are the ones that are obviously powering the droppers to propel the items through. But they're also going to be quiet. That's the only time you're going to hear them click. And there you go. Your module is officially done. There is one other thing I would highly recommend, and that is to light this up really well, okay? So just go around and spam torches everywhere that you can. And the reason for this is if this is dark back here, when these redstone torches are going on and off, they're going to be causing a lot of lighting updates, which are pretty expensive both on the server and on the client. So I would say just torch them all up. That way when the torches go on, they're not changing the light level because they're already kind of overwashed out by these normal torches anyway. So get all of them up there, maybe put some on the inside here as well. You can even do, you know, some of these outside blocks here. Same thing on the other side. Just pretty much light up everything you can is going to help reduce some lighting updates as well. Now, the other thing I would recommend is as you're building your whole storage system, I wouldn't build one module at a time. This is just total preference. You can do it however you want, but what I would do is figure out your whole storage system layout and kind of build this piece by piece. Build the same piece on all of your modules at the same time. It'll go much quicker, and you'll have a much better chance of being consistent and not missing one piece here or there. Like, you know, build all of this bottom part for all of your modules, then get all your chests. And pretty much the steps I took are the steps I would recommend, but just do it for all your modules at once in parallel, if that makes sense. It'll make your life a lot easier. Okay, moving on to how to connect your modules together. Very basic stuff here, but I do want to show you just so that there's no mystery involved here, okay? So there's really two ways you can align your modules that I see at least. You can have them adjacent to each other, like so they're kind of butted up right next to each other, in which case you will need a space between them, okay? Which is why in the sample room I set up, I had like a line of furnaces going down there. I think it's personally a nice little way of filling that gap there. So here we go. This dropper right here represents the next module. It represents this dropper right here. So if we basically just took this whole stamp here, this whole template and repasted it over here, this dropper would be there, and this would be your input hopper. That hopper right there would represent this hopper right there, which I mentioned is the input line, okay? So to connect the output to the input, it's pretty straightforward. You basically just do that, that, and line them right up, and you are good to go, okay? Now, if you are going around a corner, okay, so that your storage room is going to look something like this on this corner here, this hopper right here, or that hopper right there, would be the input line on the next module. And again, no mystery here. It's pretty much just connected up, you know, straight, however you want. If you want to save space here, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just a hopper line to connect them in a very straightforward manner, okay? Now, the only other thing is if you want to do a midline, those midline injection chests that I showed you earlier, okay? You would have something that looked like, I don't remember, something like this, okay? Let me get rid of all this guys here, okay? And you would have your chest coming out here. So you would basically, from this connector line here, just snake these guys out and underneath. You'll probably want to put like a furnace or something non-solid block right there. And then just put your chests, you know, right, if I could pick up a chest, right on top of that, and your stairs and everything would merge in just like the way I showed you in the template room here. But that's all you got to do there. So that's going to slide in. It's going to bypass that whole module and just go right into the next module there. Okay, to show you the input line and the overflow, again, very basic stuff, but I do want to show you, we're back over here on the full template room. Again, there will be a download for this world in the description, so if you just want to check out this world exactly as it is, I'll leave that link in the description for you to download. So this is your input line here, pretty basic stuff. Double chest, hopper, into a chest, into a hopper, and then that just points straight into your input line. This is flexible here. If you wanted to do like a shulker loading system here, you could do that as well. You might have to push this wall out a little bit, depends on which design you're going with, but a lot of people might want that option where they could just like lay down a shulker and it would automatically unload it and then break the shulker and whatever you want to do with it. The output line over here, very basic as well too. That's your output hopper for this last module. Just go ahead and run it into a chest. Nothing big there. And, you know, label it however you want. You can close it in blocks like this if you want. Nothing really fancy there. I do have one more little tip, though. A lot of the questions, or one of the questions I may get a lot on this is, what about non-stackable items? Now, to handle non-stackable items, what I would recommend is just pick a double chest that you want to store non-stackable item, like your armor or your tools or what have you. And instead of, let me see, what do I got here? I got slime blocks in all of these here, so I'll just break this for now. Just take that hopper that's pointing into the chest, break it, and just have it go, just point it to the side there. So let me see if I can get in here. It's going to be very cumbersome. It'd be easier if you did this right away and you knew which chests were going to be non-sorted. But you just want to have the hopper pointing out to the side there instead of pointing into this chest. And that way the items will flow through and never even attempt or not even be able to push items into this chest. And then what that gives you is just a chest that's never going to be sorted, and you can put whatever you want. You can even have empty spaces in it. Put your armor in it, your tools, whatever non-stackables you want there. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It really does help a lot. And if you're new to the channel and want to see more tutorials of this caliber, maybe consider hitting that sub button. I would appreciate it. And guys, like I said, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. This is Tango, and I am out.